Hello guys, and welcome to a karting video. It has been some time since we've done some karting on the channel, and for me at all. Today we are doing Club 100. I'm not actually racing today as of yet. I'm actually only just doing my test. But all being well, I'm going to record it, have some footage, see how we get on. It's very wet today. I'm on my way there, as you can tell, but I've nearly aquaplaned across the bypass, so it's been an interesting drive. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how we get on. But yeah, Rowra Club 100 go-karting. The channel's called Rex Races, so I should probably get on and do some racing. So we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I'll see you there.
So we are there. As you can see, we are at the mighty Rowra karting racetrack, in the west coast of the mighty Cumbria. You can see here we are at the track. There is very much a wet surface. There is blue skies, which is good, so we're going to get a bit of a drying circuit. It's obviously going to be a bit of changing conditions, really. So I'm just going to get used to it and see what we think. It took me an hour and a half to get here, so I'm pretty much local, to be honest, compared to some of the people. One person told me they'd driven 6 hours to get here, which is absolutely ridiculous, but fair play to them. So yeah, we are here now in the kart. Obviously the first time I've ever been in a Club 100 kart as the whistle goes. So we start the engine. I'm getting to feel and hear what they actually sound like for the first time ever. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be going in the Club 100 karts. I've just got to get used to it. That's all I've got to do. I'm just going to get used to it, make sure that I try and keep it safe. Don't try too hard and just keep it on the track to try and get my license. That's the main thing of it. That's all I need to do, is try and get my license so I can go into Club 100 events going forward. That's all I want to do. As somebody has already come out of the pit stop massively too hard and has gone off. I am realising very quickly on this outlap that the track is incredibly wet. I have gone way wide there, and that was at the full steering lock. So I've got to just try and get used to it. You can see all the water really on the track as I now let some people through. I've got to try follow some people really just to see what other people do. They'll probably know what they're doing a little bit more than me, especially in these karts. So I'm nowhere near even half throttle. I'm sliding around this corner here. It is unbelievably wet. Luckily dry, not raining as I come through these hairpins here. You can just see the standing water on the track as we're in yellow flags conditions here, as another kart has spun around there. So we've just got to be careful. That's all we've got to do. I'm now learning the track in honesty. I've never been here before, even though it's fairly close in the big scheme of things for the northwest. We don't have too many go-karting tracks, but I've never been here before. I've never been in these karts, as I've said, so I've just got to try and learn. Someone's dive bombing me already. As I say, somebody, there is 3 or 4 cars there just flying through, all with personalised helmets, so you know they are half decent. But yeah, they're just getting through. I'm just going to try and follow them. That's all I've got to do. Just learn the track and keep it safe as possible. This corner here was incredibly difficult. You end up going very wide, and throughout this session alone, the line through there changes dramatically. You can see that I went really wide, but I ended up getting much closer to the apex, which you'll see later in the video. But yeah, here we are. We're about to get on to our first flying lap, or first time lap should I say. See how we get on here. But yeah, you can hear the car firing away here, and as we go through, I'm just going to try and make sure I get on the brakes. But as somebody spins in front of me, puts me off a little bit, I managed to make the corner myself. But God, I am at full turn here, just trying to get through, just trying not to basically spin. There's 2 cars overtake me again there. I'm just going to keep it steady. That's all I've got to do. Stay on this wet racing line, which you should know by now really. I have not been in a wet race since probably 2019 or 2018 probably at Rye House in London, so it's been some time, been massive some time here, so yeah, it's brilliant. So we're now on to lap 1, they're coming to the end of it, you can see I've done a 1:29.9, so that's our first banker lap just to see. I'm absolutely flying here, and already on this lap coming up, I get it down 2 seconds as I go very wide in the first corner there. I've just got to try stay off the curbs a bit at the moment. They are very wet and very slippy, so I've got to find all my braking points. Somebody has ended up in the gravel on this fastest part of the circuit, to be honest. You fly down that straight, and it is a quite heavy braking zone, to be honest, so just got to be careful, see how we do. But you can see some already all the dry patches on the track, so you've got to try find them. Just get a little bit of grip, get some heat in the tyres, as somebody again has spun there. Typical, but you find that quite often in this video, and I'll be honest, I am also prone to it, so it's just the way of the world. And someone's gone off again at turn 1. That was quite a good corner from me there, and I was being quite cautious. But at 1:28.1 was this lap. Again, another yellow flag, just yellow after yellow. I mean, it was quite good because it may give me a little bit of confidence that everybody else was going off. So if I did, it was bound to happen at some point anyway. But it didn't make me feel as bad. But yeah, coming up to the back end of lap 3 here, I'm just following this guy in the orange helmet. I'm just going to try stay with him, stay as best as I can. But as you can see, he has already took off from me there. That's just what it is. You've just got to be careful. I am now going to try put the throttle down here, and I'm literally drifting around this corner. I'm absolutely drifting as somebody gets up my inside there along the long turn. I'm just trying to get around this corner. Again, it was a better corner for me compared to the last couple of laps. I realised that they're all cutting that corner, and it's helped me out massively because you can see on the lap time I get down to a 1:22, which is a great improvement from lap 1. So yeah, I'm just going to try and follow these guys here. The blue helmet guys obviously got through, so I'm back behind the orange bloke as someone else has gone off at this turn here. It takes a while for everybody to get used to it, but yeah, I like this section, to be fair, because you could use them curves and it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, we're on to lap 6 now. As you can see by the time, something goes wrong, let's say. Obviously, someone off on that corner there. We're coming through this section here, following the orange cart, and yeah, you can see here that he goes into it too heavy. He spins, and then it puts me off, and I follow him off. So on this, you've got to turn the cart off and push the cart back onto the track. So I stop, and then eventually turn the cart off and end up having to push it back onto the circuit. So yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve, but that's what you've got to do, don't you? That's what you've got to do. So we're back on now at the end of lap 6, going on to lap 7. I get down back into the 124s here, and they have a massive collision there, just out of nowhere. It was like blooming wacky racers, that part of the lap. You can see that this group is a large group here. There is cars everywhere. But it's really good to see. It's making me feel like I'm in a race as somebody else spins there, and I gain a position there, I guess. But yeah, it's absolute carnage, to be honest. It's quite cool. I'm enjoying being in a pack. As somebody goes wide there, so I then see if I can make the most of it, and I absolutely accelerate past them there, and that has ended nicely. So I'm following again, guy with an orange helmet. Seems to be quite a common theme. But yeah, I find the grip here on the outside of the track, try and get through. He is all over the place, so I'm trying to use it, but I've got a bit too confident there and got the arse end out, in all honesty. So I'm going to try and follow. I think is it Dylan Edwards, I think he says. So yeah, we're following Dylan here as we're just trying to stay on the track, trying a different line here, seeing where the grip is. You've got to try out these different things. But yeah, got to let that fast cart through. These guys were flying, in all honesty. As you know, I am literally just trying to learn this track and these carts as I floor it for whatever reason and drift, Tokyo drift around that. It's impressive. But somebody else is off, so we have to go cautious around the first turn. It would be great to try these carts in the dry, although I think it would absolutely kill my arms. You can see on the lap time top left that we hit a 1:21 on this lap, so fastest one so far, so that's absolutely brilliant. That's my phone triggers there, so sorry about that. So yeah, we have a decent lap there. This one here, lap 9, 1:22, again, many carts about, so it's quite cool actually. got to have all these carts in this big pack. I'm right at the back, but I try to go for a dive bomb here, but then a yellow flag comes, so I've just got to be careful, unfortunately. I'd love to have tried a proper dive bomb there, but I get the nice line there through, and have I made the place? It seems like I have, so I will take that nicely. This corner was actually getting really dry throughout the race. It was actually a lot, that was probably the most changing corner visual-wise. Didn't really make a difference to what you were doing, but as this guy slams on the brakes in front of me, and I just tried to avoid him as two carts were on the inside of the track there, we just about avoid spinning ourselves around. They do not like you crashing into another crash, so I think I avoided that quite nicely, to be honest. But yeah, we are flying quite nicely. This pack, someone else goes into the pits there, peels off. Somebody absolutely tanks it up the inside of me there in this like luminous yellow helmet. They seem to be quite fast in honesty, so what I want to do is try stay on them, as I actually try follow them through there, but they have made an absolute good effort of that. As they go wide, I keep following this guy through. As we go on to lap number 10, you can see that I've got to try and keep up with him. I just want to try and keep up with him, but in all honesty, looking at the lap time, you know something's going to happen. I get too excited, I follow him too quickly and end up in the shrubbery again. So I've just got to stay in my lane, make sure that I'm not pushing too hard. I've got to try to stay on this track and make sure I get my license, don't I? So yes, that was just one of them. But this is to the end of the lap now. We are looking a little bit nicer anyway, but I've got a bit of a reality check there. I've got to try and do it. But that being said, you can see this now lap 11, I get a 119. So I'm below the 120s just. As you can see, I'm using all the curve there. That was an excellent turn to use the curves for, to be honest. So pretty happy with that. I'm just going to try and catch this pack in front of me. They seem to be quite a quick and battling pack, so that's a good mixture that I want to be involved with, to be honest. So I've just got to try keep up with them. They are holding each other up, so it is helping me out quite nicely. So I've just got to try catching them and hope for the best. As we get, this is the fastest part of the track. Probably one of the only times I actually went full throttle there, just to see the power of the karts. Really, the GoPro doesn't really give you the idea of how fast these karts are. They are very fast. I'll be honest, no idea how fast they can go, but if they did feel fast, they did feel very fast, to be honest. Being that close to the ground and going that speed is impressive, to be honest. But now we are getting to the end of this lap, and I have managed to mostly catch up with this pack. I'm just going to try and stay on their arses, try get there, even though it is still greasy. It is greasy everywhere. I'm just going to try and make sure that I keep it going. If somebody has dived on my inside there, they seem to be a very quick driver, whoever they are. But yeah, you can see all these cars diving in. He's gone very deep into there, as that guy won't be talking about then. I've done a pretty poor line through there. Managed to hold it off because obviously it's wet and everyone was trying to find out what we're doing. But yeah, it's just the way it is. But yeah, you can see all these carts here going through here. We're in a massive pack as someone else has spun there, but we're now getting to the end of lap 12, 123.4 on this lap, so I did slow down. I think, to be honest, they were holding me up, but as I go through, I actually make probably my first legitimate overtake. But I get onto the rumble strips, they get past. It is a shame, but I'm just going to try and keep the most of it, really, and make the most of it, so it is working nicely. 121 on this lap, so I'm still yet to get into the teens again from the other lap before. But yeah, it's looking quite good, to be honest. It is looking quite good as I get very close to him. Someone else has dive bombed us, so I get around the outside nicely. This is making me feel like an absolute beast as I go past these lot. Getting to this hairpin, you can see how much it's dried, because I think he lets me through, in all honesty, but he's gone wide and I get right through there, and I'll be honest, that was probably the best I felt in the whole thing. Just nice to be able to overtake somebody fairly legitimately. As you can see, all that water still on the outside of that corner, so it's obviously standing, so you've just got to keep it going. That's all I've got to do. But it is looking a bit better. I am getting a bit more confident. Don't want to get cocky. Don't want do anything stupid, but it is really nice to be able to just do some overtakes. I'm getting stuck behind this guy here. He seems to be a bit slow. Someone's got up my inside, so I follow them through, and I do a bit of a cheeky dive bomb, which is quite nice. I find a bit of grip on the inside there, which is lovely, and follow this guy with the OMP on his back. It seems like someone spun here, or no, I think it's just someone had spun, they were just correcting themselves, so got to follow them through, see how we're getting on. But you can see on the lap time, lap 14, we get a 1:18.8, so fastest lap so far. Looking pretty good. We are improving, which is the major thing. That's all we've got to do. We've just got to try and make sure that we go for it, really. As I get past somebody here, that is a nice, again, overtake from us, just using the grip as we're getting through here. But yeah, look at the dry. It's so much more dry through that corner there. Getting most of the sun, making the most of the grip. That's what you've got to do. Onto the last corner here. Just got to make sure that we try and keep up on the thing. But I lost the back end there. You can tell just by the way it skipped out a bit. But that's just the nature of it. But yeah, I'm looking and feeling a lot quicker here, which is nice. As I say that, I make a bit of a silly mistake and get the back end out. But looking at the lap time, 1:17.6, so I'm gaining a lot more confidence here. It is good as I make a bloody nice overtake after the long straight there. That is impressive. I've impressed myself there. It seems pretty basic, but from where I started today, it seems to be the best. As you saw, I actually hit the apex on that corner, meaning that the dry is coming and it is making the track a lot greener. We are getting a lot quicker. So what I decided to do, I've got to try and push that. I've got to try and get some decent lap times in. I know I'm not up to pace, but I've got to try and get a lap time. But you can see, let's look at that lap time. It's a 1:43.1. We know that means something has happened. So I ended up pushing too hard. Let's be honest, we know I push too hard on these sections. I get red mist, someone spins in front of me and I follow them right there. And to be honest, I nearly end up in the barriers. Luckily I don't. I managed to save it to an extent, turn the car off and then have to push it out, unfortunately. This one was quite a big push because obviously everyone's on the wet lines, they are quite close to the edge, so I've got to go far and yeah, deal with it. But yeah, we're on the last corner here again, getting onto lap 17 now. But I managed to knock off another second of the quickest time on this lap. So we are looking quite good. It is actually a lot more quicker this track now. It's amazing how this kind of time has really made it a little bit quicker. Getting on to, I know we're about 22 minutes down the line, something like that, in this session, a 30-minute session. So we are looking quite good. Getting a bit quicker anyway. So we are now on to the end of lap 17 here as I go around the outside of somebody there. It's bloody lovely. Absolute fantastic overtake there. So someone else is going wide. I'm going to use my grip and position on the track to get in the overtake. We're on to lap 18 now, 1:17.9. So we are looking a little bit more consistent here, which is quite nice. Slightly slower, but it is looking quite good. It is pretty good to be fair, but one off at the last corner, so just got to keep going. Lap 19, wow, look at the improvement on that. But I then realised there is only 4 minutes left, so I've got to go bugger it really. I've got to try get some times in, just to prove what I can do, and not just to these lot but to myself. I've got to try and prove that I can find the grip and be ready for a race in the wet if need be, or changing conditions at least. But yeah, I've obviously found a nice bit of time there, so that is impressive by myself. But yeah, I've just got to be smoother. It's all got to be smoother as a guy let me through. He must think I'm quicker, which is nice. As you can see, the line through there has changed quite considerably with the drying conditions. But the sky is starting to look a bit darker now. There's maybe not as much sun in the sky, so it's eventually probably going to start raining. But luckily we don't have that long left. But yeah, it's pretty good. I've got to try and get away from this guy, but as I do that, I go deep and he gets past me again. So what we're going to do? This is the last lap. I realise there's not long left. I've just got to punch in, see what we can do, and looking at that lap time, I get down to a 1:13.5, which I think I've impressed myself there. I've done myself justice by getting a 1:13. It'd be nice to have probably had a little bit longer in the car, in all honesty, but it's a good sign that I'm improving as it goes on, really. So I've just got to try keep on the track, and as obviously with that lap time I do, and I do a decent job of it, to be fair. But I've just got to keep it going, keep it steady, chase him down, to be honest. But he is flying, so he must have got a decent lap time. In all honesty, he must have got a decent lap. But yeah, you can just see how the different lines through there by both me and him. And to be honest, it didn't seem to be that much of a difference. So you've just got to find your own line, especially when in these changing conditions. You're just got to try and find the grip. That's all you've got to do. But yeah, I'm hitting that apex every time now. This one, we were keeping it still wide, but I wouldn't know whether that's probably the dry line through there anyway. But anyway, as we go through here, this is the last corner where I'm racing in. I put my foot down as best as I can, and it's a checkered flag. So, I'm just taking it all in now, just making my way back around. I enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I massively enjoyed it. As you can see on there, just about, I came 19th. So I'm happy with that, middle of the pack. That is pretty good for a rookie. I don't know where the other rookies held up. I think there was maybe 5 or 6 rookies. So I'm pretty sure I did all right there, to be honest. But if you notice, Tom Saunders below me, he is in that position there, and he's actually taking part in the whole championship. And he is not doing that great in this session compared to how he is in the actual championship, which makes me feel a bit better about myself, thinking if I did compete in all of the races, I maybe would have a chance, to be honest. But yeah, you never know. As you can see here, I'm comparing my time at the top to the first place, Tommy Lee. He is winning the championship, he's doing unbelievable. But yeah, Tom Saunders is down in 15th for the championship, so it would make me think I could maybe get into that position. But yeah, happy days. Let's get back to it.
So that's it. We passed, thank God for that. So whether we end up getting into the Warden Law race, probably not. So hopefully we'll look at next year to maybe do the Rowra race. There may be one hopefully closer by. Maybe they might do Three Sisters with Wigan, which would be nice. That's not too far. I mean, it's still over an hour's journey from my house, but it's better than going over to Sunderland for Warden Law, and even this one's a good hour and a half. So yeah, but it's brilliant. Good to get in the car again. It was really weird being in a wet car. That's just the way it is, though. I've not done that since I went to Rye House in London for a 6-hour endurance race with Kieran and James. So yeah, it was nice to get back behind the wheel again, and them karts I've got a bit of a kick to them, so it was nice to anyway. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.